Now people are waking up, right? People like you that are watching people like me talk about health and nutrition and living a healthier lifestyle. People are waking up and realizing it's probably not the best thing to put this sugar, syrup, carbonated beverage into my body. So I'm going to stop drinking as much soda. Ooh, bottled water is healthy. Is it? Is bottled water really that healthy? Is it healthier than a soda? Yeah, probably. But we're finding now that about 50% of the bottled waters that you find in your supermarket um, are actually not as healthy as tap water. Hello, Dr. CJ Benkert here, ready to dive into the statistics and some interesting facts about bottled water. We are discussing for the next 7 days my second core concept to living your purest, healthiest life, pure water. And we started that discussion on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we went over the properties of water. And then yesterday, I went into great detail of all the different types of water. So if you want to know the difference between filtered water versus purified water versus reverse osmosis versus distilled water versus tap water versus bottled water, watch the lesson from yesterday. And we're posting those in our YouTube channel as well, Dr. CJ Benker. But let me ask you a question. Most people that I know drink bottled water, and I know that they drink bottled water because they think it's healthier for them. Do you think that bottled water is healthier for you than tap water? What happened? Why did we go from being, drinking tap water, no big deal, till about, I think it was about 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, all of a sudden we've got this bottled water craze. So I found this really amazing article which covers most of the stats and the points that I wanted to cover today. So I'm just going to go through. I posted the article on my page, a separate post right before I went live on Facebook. Or if you're on YouTube and you want to see the article, just post in the comments, want to see the article. But it's pretty amazing. As far as bottled water goes, all of us know the dangers of plastics and why that's not a good thing. But I'm just going to go through some of the statistics on bottled water, and then I'm going to end with a few things that I've known for years and I've been taught at my different trainings about the dangers of plastic to your body and what it's doing to our environment. All right, so bottled water statistics, 23 outrageous facts. How much money do you think Americans spend annually on bottled water? In 2014, Americans spent $13 billion on bottled water. The number one beverage industry is, believe it or not, still soda. The number two beverage industry is bottled water, followed by milk and beer. We're spending more money on soda and bottled water, which, as I discussed yesterday, is not good quality water, than we are on milk and beer. And the top two bottled water companies are Dasani and whatever that other one is, Aquafina, which I think one is owned by Coca-Cola, the other is owned by Pepsi. So don't you find it interesting that soda, multi-billion-dollar a year industry, but now people are waking up, right? People like you that are watching people like me talk about health and nutrition and living a healthier lifestyle. People are waking up and realizing it's probably not the best thing to put this sugar, syrup, carbonated beverage into my body. So I'm going to stop drinking as much soda. Ooh, bottled water is healthy. Is it? Is bottled water really that healthy? Is it healthier than a soda? Yeah, probably. But we're finding now that about 50% of the bottled waters that you find in your supermarket are actually not as healthy as tap water. 50% of the bottled waters are worse than tap water. Now, if you're spending more money, like on alkaline water, maybe it's a little bit better than tap water. Let's see, how many bottles of water are we selling each year? And the number one producer of plastic and the number one producer of plastic waste is the United States, by the way. We're going through roughly 200 billion plastic water bottles a year. Average American's spending about $100 a year per person on bottled water. I think it's more than that. I don't even buy bottled water on a regular basis, and I maybe only use it for traveling or, rare circumstances. And I feel like I've spent more than $100 just over the summer. And I can talk about that later, about what the options are and what I'd like each of you to do. We need to put an end to this plastic bottle dilemma. I also found out doing some research today, I didn't realize this, maybe some of you know this, that it actually takes more water to make the plastic bottle than what you're buying. And it actually takes more water to put the water in than what you're buying. So you're using 1.4 liters to make 1 liter of bottled water, and that doesn't even count the amount of water that it takes to make a plastic bottle. Most of the cost of bottled water is actually in making the plastic bottle. And did you know that plastic is made from petrochemicals? It's made from like oil. And the biggest producer of plastics is ExxonMobil. So we're using our fossil fuels to make plastic bottles to put in health water. It doesn't really add up, does it? Are you drinking bottled water? I hope not. I hope by the end of this short discussion that you stop buying bottled water, because I have an amazing option for you, an amazing affordable solution for you that's way cheaper than buying bottled water, and the quality of the water is outrageous. If you're buying bottled water and drinking bottled water, you might as well just be drinking tap water. So I talked about the solution yesterday. I'm going to talk about it again today, and it has nothing to do with selling purification units. It has to do with, let's do something to make a change on our planet. These plastic bottles are ending up in our oceans. These plastic bottles are ending up in our landfills. We're only recycling about 20% of the plastic bottles that we're using. 80% is going into our landfills. You know how long it takes for one water bottle to biodegrade in a landfill? If you're watching me live, post in the comments. I want to know what you think. How long do you think it takes for one bottled water, one plastic bottle from a water that you drank, to break down in the environment in the landfill? 100 years? Nope, more. 200? More. 250? More. It takes an average of 450 years for one plastic bottle to break down using normal biodegradation in a landfill. And then the ones that aren't being put in a landfill, you know what they do with those? They're burning them. There's plastic incinerators that are burning plastic, burning this petrochemical toxic material, emitting all of these awful things into our environment, breathing those things in. The plastic bottles are ending up in our landfills, they're ending up in waterways, they're ending up in our oceans. And then when the plastic goes into our oceans, it gets broken down into what are called microplastics that are consumed by marine animals, by animals out in nature. The chemicals from plastic bottles are actually creating fertility problems. There's animals in nature now, because of plastics being broken down into our environment, that can't reproduce anymore, because plastics takes up the same estrogen sites that, plastics take up the same receptor sites as estrogen. So plastics mimic estrogen. So we're seeing all these issues with our children growing up with fertility, with puberty. We've got men that are developing these female characteristics now that never happened, 30, 40 years ago, because all of these plastics and a lot of the pesticides and a lot of the toxins and chemicals that I talk about all the time that are weaved in and out of my 12 core concepts are causing cancer and wreaking havoc in our body's physiological systems. So there's nothing good about plastics. So if you're buying bottled water, please stop. If you get a nice, amazing, high quality, very affordable, less than $1,000 to get a 6-stage purification unit that goes underneath your sink, it fits any normal sink. It's reverse osmosis, 5 other stages of purification. By the time it comes out of the spout, you're getting alkaline, energized, micro-clustered, high mineral water that mimics very closely the water that's found in nature, and especially in these blue zones around the world where people live into their hundreds. One of the common factors that they have found in these blue zones is that they all are drinking this amazing mineral-rich spring water. We've mimicked that. I've locked arms with an American-based company, a family-owned company. He's been in the water industry for many, many years and now hand makes these 6-stage water purification units that produce this amazing clean water that you can use to cook with, that you can use for your animals. My dogs drink alkaline, micro-clustered, energized, antioxidant, mineral-rich water through the water purification company that I advocate for and that I've used for years now. So I'll post the link to that website. The unit that I love, that I use, is called Alka Purity HD Under-Counter System. So I'll post my link. It's drcjpurewater.com, drcjpurewater.com. Here, I can post it right now. www.drcjpurewater.com. Awesome. Okay, so please check it out and let me know if you have any questions. Let me just go through a few more statistics and we'll call it a night. Yeah, so Americans are the top producers of plastics. 10 billion gallons of bottled water in the United States. Oh, here we go. On a daily basis, how many bottles of water in the United States are we drinking on a daily basis? Okay, not even a daily basis. How many bottles of water are Americans drinking per second in the United States? 1,500 bottles consumed every second. That adds up to 90,000 bottles of water, plastic bottles of water, every hour. And in the United States, we are consuming and wasting and throwing away 2.2 million plastic bottles per day because that's what we're consuming. Crazy. And then one other thing. When we try to break down or we go through like the recycling process for plastics, not very much of it can be recycled. We don't want to deal with all of our waste products, so what do? For years, we sent our waste products to China, so we would ship them all of this garbage that we didn't want to keep here in the United States. We'd ship it to them, pay them a fee, and then they would do whatever they did with it to deal with it. Well, China finally said, you know what, we don't want your garbage anymore, the United States, so we're not taking your garbage anymore. We don't care what you pay us for it. So now we're sending our garbage, our plastic water bottles, to Thailand and Malaysia and Vietnam. So please, if you care anything about this planet, if you want to leave something for your children and your grandchildren, be the change that you want to see in the world. The choices that you make on a daily basis, what you put into your mouth, how you think, how you breathe, whatever you do to improve yourself, I promise you, The small changes that you make, and I know you can make, I believe in you. The small changes that you make affect the planet. They affect your children, and then it affects their children. And when you buy bottled water, you're supporting soda companies and big corporations. They don't care about the health of the planet. They don't care about your health. They care about making money. Kia says, this is such great information, Dr. CJ. Thank you, Kia. I appreciate it. So that's my take on bottled water and plastics. It's not a good thing. It's a big part of why we're seeing such an increase problem with fertility, couples not being able to get pregnant. It's why we're seeing young girls hitting puberty at 8, 9, 10 years old. It's because we have all these estrogen mimickers in our environment because of all these toxins and plastics and pesticides and just the crap and the junk that we're putting in our food. So please, just listen to my 12 core concepts. Just make one change a week. So this week, we're focused on pure water. I challenge you, if you're watching this and you're following me and you want to live a better life, every week that I present each core concept, make one change within that concept. So we started off the first week with pure food. The one change that I would have you make if you're not a client of mine is to get all of the vegetable oil out of your house. Just that one change will improve your health. This week, Pure Water Week, the one change that I challenge you to make is stop drinking bottled water. Spend the money now that you'll save a couple of $1,000s a year by not buying bottled water, not even looking at the changes on your health and what you'll be saving in long-term health, that you can have this amazing purified water in your own home. You'll just fill up your stainless steel bottle or your glass bottle. Those are the two that I primarily use. And you don't have to buy bottled, gross, unhealthy bottled water anymore. That's no better than tap water, that doesn't have anywhere near the regulatory stringent regulations that tap water has. And we know that tap water is filled with chlorine and fluoride, and if you have lead pipes, there's lead. There's all kinds of issues. So bottled water is not healthy. Most of it's just gathered up with hardly any testing at all. Most of the money that you're spending on that bottle of water is from the plastic that it took to make it. And then you're using water up because of what it takes to make the plastic. You're emitting carbon dioxide into the environment as you're making these plastics. And then the end game is having all these bottles floating around in our oceans and creating problems down the food chain. So please just take responsibility for your health first, and every choice that you make has an effect on the entire planet. I promise. Please make positive changes for your health. I'm here to teach you how to live your purest, healthiest, most joyous, fulfilled life. And it's not just about food or water. We're going to be talking over the next 12 weeks about meditation and grounding and opening up your heart, and it's living a pure life in body. Yes, body, diet, nutrition, food, that has a lot to do with it, but mind, emotions, thinking patterns, heart, relationships, right? And then spirit and your path, whatever that spiritual path is, whether you're a Christian or whether you're Buddhist, or I belong to the Center of Spiritual Living. Whatever your spiritual beliefs are, we have a soul. We're in these temporary physical bodies. We all have a soul. So I want to teach you how to have a well-rounded, balanced life in body, mind, heart, and spirit. And my 12 core concepts are centered around helping you do that. So just one change a week. And by the end of these 12 weeks, you will have made 12 profound changes in your life that'll make you happier and healthier and help to decrease the chances of you ending up when you're in your 70s and 80s with Alzheimer's in a nursing home, not knowing who you are, being a burden on your family, and having some stranger change your diapers. Because that's where a lot of people are headed. We're on the wrong path. And we need to wake up, and we are waking up. And me coming to you is part of that waking up. So will you join me? Will you make a difference? Will you live a healthier life and make a difference on this planet and leave a legacy for your children? I hope so. All right, this is Dr. C.J. Benkert with Pura Vida, Pure Life Living, teaching you, encouraging you, motivating you, loving you to live your purest life in body, mind, heart, and spirit. See you tomorrow.